Hello, good afternoon.
Hi everyone. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Happy Truro Famous Chat Day.
Happy almost Halloween.
We need to have, you know how there's all those ridiculous national holidays? We need to
Yes.
have a Truro Famous Day. How do you just create one?
I think you just do it. Like
Right.
honestly, I don't think is there a registry for national random days?
We'll go back to the first chat we had with Corey and we will call that for
Yeah.
2021, we'll call that National Truro Famous
True
Day.
famous day.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Awesome.
So our guest today, we had some technical issues when we chatted with this lovely guest back in September when she won an award in our virtual Local Love Truro Awards. And so we wanted to give her an opportunity to chat, and we just wanted an excuse to chat with her anyway. So here we go, Margaret Congdon.
Yay!
Hello.
Hi, Margaret.
So nice to be seen and heard.
Yes.
Did I pronounce your last name right? Congdon?
Yeah, but I actually switched. I pretty much just use L's now.
I
So
did not know that because,
yeah.
and of course, all of the promotion, of course, has your incorrect last name then. So you're welcome.
I will answer to either. It is not a problem. But it was really funny because when I was helping the Tatamagouche market set up their online thing, one of the vendors who's in both was like, I haven't met the market manager over here. It's someone named Margaret Els, and she seems really cool too. So I'm like, that's me, just a different name.
Now, that's one of those situations where it's really good that they didn't say, like, oh my God, have you talked to this market manager from Truro?
I was glad it went that way.
Yeah, that's like one of those really awkward conversations you don't want to be a part of.
Can be. But now I just laugh with her and I say, if you're not happy with what I tell you here in the Truro market, you just contact that lady from Tatamagouche and see if she'll give you a different answer.
That's awesome. I love it. So congratulations officially on winning again this year, because this is your second year in a row. The Truro Farmers Market won the most loved local event award.
Yes.
And
okay.
Are you in your office?
I'm in my office and Truro famous Sylvia SD is making faces at me through the window.
All right, we need a cameo, Sylvia.
Which she had threatened to do. No, she's disappeared already because she knew. I told her if she did that, I was going to get her on here with me, but she's gone.
Gonna say it's Thursday, so she's in the kitchen, of course.
Cooking, and it smells fabulous in there. So.
And I feel like this year, Margaret, like it's even more deserved than last year that you guys won, just because of how you were able, and I hate the word pivot, so I refuse to use it, but how you were able to regroup and refocus the market for this year. Why don't you just give us a little bit of an insight into how that looked for you on your end?
What have you been doing in 2020, Margaret? I mean, you must.
2020, what a year. Yeah. And I'm with you, Sam, on the word pivot. I tend to say we dialed up and down because, you know, and now we're poised. We can dial in any direction we want now, I guess. But so back in March when it all started, we had one Saturday after things closed down when we had very few vendors and they took orders from customers just through their own social media. And I said, oh, we've got to reach more of our vendors and more of our customers. So we were trying to get our software online, but I decided that we would just run anyway. So we just took emails and phone calls from customers. We posted everything that our vendors had on our Facebook page, and we spent days just taking phone calls and making the pick sheets and the order sheets and the invoices, literally with spreadsheets and copying them out and stuff. My daughter came home from Coast Guard school, And she and I would sit here for all day, sort of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, until we got to 300 orders, because that was all we could handle, and we'd cut it off then. But it was some long hours, but it was well worth it, because we were still able to connect those vendors and the customers. Then the end of April, our software went live, and it's fantastic. It's got a great storefront. It does half the work for me, and we've been using that ever since. Then we opened the market for outside vendors in the middle of June, and had great support from people coming back to sell in person and customers coming to shop in person. Then we opened the indoor market again in mid-July. And that's what we've been doing. When we opened the indoor market, we switched the online pickup day from Saturday to Wednesday, so that, because we didn't have enough room to get all the vendors in and be able to do the online too. So that's the evolution in a nutshell. I laughed at one point and said the only thing we haven't tried was a drive-through. But right now we have the health authority doing drive-through COVID testing underneath the canopy. So I think that counts. We've done drive-through.
I think so. I drove by this morning and I saw the sign, and I was like, I know you're having a flu shot clinic there on Sunday.
Okay.
Are they setting up? And then I'm reading the sign going, COVID screening? What are you doing over there?
Just about anything that we can do to support the community, we'll do.
Yeah.
And you also have a new tenant, I guess you want to call it that, novelty.
Not gonna lie, got a little fresh coffee here from my extremely local coffee shop right in the South Bay. So,
doesn't get much more local than that, Margaret.
Very close, and they're so awesome. They've been so easy to work with, and they keep giving me test items of baking. And when the espresso machine came in and they wanted to try it out, I was there for them. So it's working. I'm drinking way too much coffee.
You really know how to take one for the team, Margaret, I gotta say.
Someone's got to do it, Sam.
And so that's insane. Just going back to kind of the last few months for you guys, that's absolutely insane. And I keep saying, I've said it probably a cajillion times in these conversations that we've been having, that despite all of the obvious negativity and whatnot associated with the coronavirus and all the things that means for us locally and small business and all that jazz, there are those little nuggets that are positive. And I think the online market is absolutely one of those positives that we can take from all of this.
It's been fantastic. We had planned to do it anyway, and we just really upped our timetable because of COVID. But I guess the huge rewards, in addition to still having the venue, because some of our vendors are still not comfortable being back here in person. So those producers can be online. We can do the contactless delivery of orders for customers, and we do limited delivery for people that need it. But the comments that we've been getting, the support from people saying, this is fantastic, I'm so happy I have this option, and just so it makes us feel so good on those days when we might be a little tired. When we were doing some 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night, Friday nights when we first started. So lots of overtime hours, but people were so appreciative. It was so worth it, and it continues to be really well received. We were happy that we could pop on some of the not-for-profit groups around the community too, because so many of them relied on in-person events. Mm-hmm. And we've been able to include some of their products on our online store. So that's another nice way to be able to include things.
That is awesome. And I know, because I chatted with Stacy at the Hospice Society about back when you guys first put their hug products on there. Yeah. And it was just such a cool way for them to connect to the community, but obviously also for the market to still keep those, because you obviously always have that nonprofit table normally.
Right.
And so that's a perfect connection.
Yeah, it worked well, and we've tried to include different groups in that not-for-profit. We've got right now we have the Rosehip Project, which are the awesome bags that are sewn by women in recovery, and we have the Antique Farm Museum makes these really cool tractor seats using antique tractor seats, either on milk can bases or sort of desk chair bases. And they're really neat. And then we have the McNabb Hill Cemetery Society. They're all on for not-for-profits right now. We try to alternate them through and give people different chances. But
that's awesome. So yeah. I have to be honest. I thought you said anti-farm. Like, I was like, that's such a weird. What is that? Antique. I got it.
Antique, yes. We are not anti-farm here at the Farmers Market.
If anybody is going to be non-anti-farm, it's the farmers. I mean, come on.
Anti-farm.
Exactly. And that right there is how rumors get started.
I'm so glad you explained it further.
Poor pronunciation on my part.
It's all good. And I think the other part too that's been beneficial is the Wednesday pickup, because I know that there's probably lots of people that if they're away for the weekend or whatever, that the Saturday morning wasn't necessarily working for them, but to be able to go in the evenings on Wednesdays to pick up, that's obviously more convenient for a lot of folks too. So that's another positive to come out of it.
Yes, it seems to be. We were worried that when we switched to Wednesday, it would be more difficult, but we got so many people saying, I'm so happy it's now on Wednesday. I work in town through the week and I can pick up on Wednesday, not have to make a special trip in on Saturday. And as you say, so many people would go away camping for the weekend or to their cottages, but they could pick up stuff on Wednesday and take it. So we haven't seen a negative effect, and we've had lots of positive comments about the Wednesday pickup. So that seems to work well.
It's so crazy. And so I wanted to ask you, because somebody mentioned this to me the other day. Are you guys doing like Christmas markets, or like, do you even have those sort of planned yet, or what's the deal with those types of events?
Yeah, so I was hoping to do our traditional Christmas market where I jam 60 vendors in here and we have a great time. Currently, we're mandated by our sector that we have to have distancing between our vendors, and we were trying to find some alternatives using barriers and things, but that hasn't come together yet. So I decided we would have 2 Christmas markets instead of one, so that we can fit everyone in. Yeah. So, and I just posted those events on our Facebook page today, so people will know about them and vendors can get in touch. But we're going to do our festive artisan market on Friday, November the 20th from 4 to 8, and that will be our traditional artisans, makers, crafters kind of market. And then the following Friday night, the 28th, we'll do a second holiday market, which will have more of the holiday foods and baking, and still lots of craft and decor items. And our wreath vendors will be at both, but very few of them will be at both unless they're willing to be outside. And that will depend on the weather, because we can only fit in about 30. So to get all the people that I would normally have, we'll just do 2.
Yeah.
I love that.
Why not?
Yeah, of course.
So I kind of neglected to incorporate a very important part of our Truro Famous live chats, which is like we skipped right to the farmers market because obviously we won the award.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right? But you guys, like, you're Truro famous. People know Margaret Els as well. So what's your connection? Are you from Truro? How long have you been here? Let's just get some history on you yourself.
Oh, okay. I'm not originally from Truro. I grew up in the Annapolis Valley in a tiny place called Sheffield Mills, which is now well known for all the eagles that winter there, and they have a big eagle festival. I grew up on a farm there, and then I came to the agricultural college in Bible Hill to take my degree. So I spent 4 years there and met a guy, and he was from Great Village. So I got married and stayed in the Great Village area and lived there for 30 years or so. And then just in the past couple of years, I am no longer married, and I bought a little house for myself and my dog here in Truro. So now I really am in Truro, and I love it. I love being like, I'll walk to work because I'm very close, and people like honk and wave, and I'm like, oh, I love Truro and my little friends. So I've always been very passionate about local food, local agriculture, food security. Did a lot of volunteer work for the 4-H youth development program when I was raising my own kids, and I have 4 wonderful children. I put their picture over my shoulder in case they watched this.
And the local love awards, by the way. I saw the product, which is lovely.
Yeah, they look great, eh? Jamie does such a good job on those.
She does.
So when I had the opportunity, I worked for 30 odd years for myself as a caterer, and then an in-home chef, and helped out at the church in Great Village when we opened a cafe there to try and save the church building. But when I saw this market manager job for the Truro market, I just thought it hit so many of the things that I was passionate about. It just really resonated with me. And I thought I would apply, even though I, didn't have maybe a lot of the official qualifications they listed. I thought it was a good test to see if they say all that volunteer work really does pay off. And it did, because I had a lot of board work, and this is a cooperative run by a fabulous board. And it really was a good fit, and they were kind enough to hire me, and I just love it. I started this job and thought, I come to work and they pay me to do this, and I get to see all these great people and work with and promote all these local vendors and producers. And we've reached out a lot into the community since I started here, and try to do a lot of projects and support with the community. So I love all those angles.
It really does.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there's been so much growth since you came on board. When the market used to only be part of the year, and now it's a year-round thing, and I would assume a lot more vendors have come on board under your reign.
Yes, we have.
It's always been a hub of the community, way back to when it was over by Macquarie's.
Yes.
But it's more so now. Like, that building has become a hub of the community.
Yes, we love to be able to make this building available for people to use, whether it's just for a meeting. Really good time to book meetings here too, because of that local coffee shop. But but we try to team up when we can. We've been doing Coldest Night of the Year. We do projects with the United Way, and I was just talking with them the other day. We'll be participating in their Elves for Elders campaign for Christmas again, and just try to make space available for people who need it, especially not-for-profits. Haven't done too many wedding receptions and big events this year for obvious reasons, but we do a few of those too. So.
It's such a great spot, so centrally located downtown too, and just a lot of history. I mean, that's the thing about downtown Truro. There's so many buildings down there too that just have so much history, and right next to the library that and the Civic Square, it's just like a perfect spot.
It is. I like when they renovated that library in Civic Square, honestly, it's just so beautiful and amazing now. And we're so lucky to be part of that block down here. And our neighbors are so good. The historium and the library and the police department's right here. And the town of Truro is so supportive for things we want to do here. So it is a great location for the farmers market.
One thing I love, I've got to give props to, I think I'm giving props to you, Margaret. I might be giving props to Sarah, who works with you. I'm not sure. But one thing I love at Christmas time now is how you guys really use your vendors to decorate around the farmers market. And I want to say it's Hillendale Farms who provides like those adorable little arrangements with like the little twigs and cranberries and all that good stuff. And it just really, you can feel the passion for local when you guys are decorating even Christmas or whatever it is.
Yes, yeah, you're totally right. That is Hillendale. He does the swags that we put along the Young Street doors and the big planters that we put out there as well. And we have some other vendors. Bountiful Brookfield Blooms will also do us some indoor arrangements and things that we have. Our vendors are just so awesome. Anytime we need something like that, or a gift for a contest that we're doing, or a draw, or they're so willing to participate in the online. We get volunteers to help us distribute the online orders, and Giselle Henwood bakes us fresh donuts and cinnamon buns every week. And so that's, yes, for the volunteers that come to, so like every week, I don't think she's missed a week, and it's so awesome. So
if anybody wants to volunteer,
we're giving fresh baking as part of your thank you. Yes.
I don't know. What are you doing on Saturday, Michelle?
Yeah,
that's Wednesday. That's Wednesday.
Sorry, Wednesday.
Yeah. But yes, so, and of course, when Sarah was with us, we had her super art talent, and she would make all sorts of beautiful posters and canvas things. So, but she's teaching at the community college now, so she's not with us anymore, and we are just in the process of hiring a new person to coordinate the online portion for us, and also to be our market assistant again. So,
awesome! I didn't realize that Sarah wasn't there anymore.
I know. Awesome. Well, obviously you haven't seen me lately because I walk around with, the little cloud over my head crying because I miss Sarah so much. But
she is one of a kind. Sarah is.
She totally is such an awesomely talented person, and she just has fantastic artistic skills, and she shares them so willingly. Like, she just created so much wonderful content. Her photography skills are amazing, but also I had a little trouble originally convincing her that it was okay to draw on the walls, because apparently her mother told her that was a bad thing when she was growing up. So, but once she was convinced that it was okay to draw on the walls, she's done such beautiful vegetable and flower drawing. Yeah. No stopping her. That's right. So I miss bouncing things off her. I miss her talent, and I just miss her as a friend being in the office with me. But luckily she stops by frequently, and she's still a fantastic market supporter and shopper. So she's not far. Yeah. But it is, it's totally different not having Sarah here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She was here before I was. Social media, when she, the Instagram feed for the market.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That was all her.
Oh my goodness, your mouth would water.
Yes, that's right. People would text us and say, I got out of bed because I saw the picture of those baked items on your Instagram this morning. So it was like, that was super.
It works. It works.
Yep.
Instagram marketing works. That's our proof.
Yeah.
So Margaret, right before we went live, you were chatting with us about the Nourishing Communities program that you guys are a part of through the Truro Farmers Market. Do you want to maybe give us some insight into what that is and how maybe we can get involved if that's possible?
Sure. This is our second year as part of the Nourishing Communities program, and it's a province-wide program that's coordinated through the farmers markets of Nova Scotia. We are so fortunate to have the support of the Department of Communities, Culture and Heritage, and they make grant money available to, I think there were 5 or 6 of us last year, markets that took part. This year there's more, there's 8 or 10. And we get the grant money. We partner up with local not-for-profits. I partner up with Maggie's Place Family Resource Center and the Colchester Mental Health Association, and they identify the participants for me. And what we're looking to do is find people that are living in food insecurity that need some help with food, families, individuals, or couples that need some food help every week. So beginning in July, I think it was July the 4th, and continuing right through until our last Saturday before Christmas, which will be the 19th of December, we give out market bucks. So we sell these to anyone, but we use the same ones for these are our little market bucks. And they're in $5 denominations. So we give a number of those every week to individuals and families, and they spend them here. Every vendor in the place takes them, and they primarily are for healthy food, but it's called Nourishing Communities because just the participation and coming out to the market helps build community. And we've had fabulous feedback from some of the participants about how it helped them get over some of their social anxiety to be able to come here, and how they've met new people and they've built relationships with their food providers. So it's about more than just giving them the food bucks. But I will say that this year, our market will be giving out just over $12,000 in food bucks into our community, which all comes back to our vendors. So it's a win-win. We help the community with that amount of food, and the vendors receive that back when it's spent here in our market. So it bumps up their sales by that amount as well. So I just can't say enough about what a great program it is, and we keep hoping we can expand it. My target this year was to reach more seniors, and we've been able to do that. And so I'd love to be able to even reach more people every year. I'd love to be able to expand that program.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that's a huge influx of,
yeah,
$12,000 that's a lot of money.
It is. Yeah. It is. Yeah, we're really, really happy about being able to do that.
So that money all comes from funding. So there's not really so I, as a person who may want to contribute, there's not that sort of side of things where you make donations toward that program, or?
So we've had some interest in that, and I have taken some donations for that. Someone just recently suggested, and I think it's a great idea, that we put a button on our online market to take donations for the Nourishing Communities program. So I think I will do that, and then people will have that opportunity if they want to support a family. Every bit helps. If they support them for a week or a month or whatever, it's a great help, and then we can add and grow that program. So I will probably put it on.
Sorry, Margaret, I cut you off. What was the last thing you said?
I'll probably put that button on our online store so that people can do that.
And it's good awareness for the program too, because, you know, even if I don't donate necessarily this week or whatever, when I'm putting in my online order, I'm seeing it and maybe I'll ask questions about it or whatever too. So that's cool.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And like I say, there are a number of other markets doing it in their communities. Woofle does it. Woofle did it first, really, and had arranged their own funding in the community. It was supported by their local businesses, and they probably still have the business support, but also the grant funding. And New Glasgow does it. I think the Avon Market in Windsor was doing it. There's a number of them around the province. So it's just such an awesome thing to be able to be a part of. It's one of the things I love most that we can provide in this community.
That's so cool. I love it too. And I'm curious, just as you were talking about the other markets in Nova Scotia, first of all, I love Wolfville Market. I think it's fantastic. Are others operating the same way you guys are? Are some not reopened? Like what's kind of the general consensus, if you know, of the other markets throughout the province?
So I actually am the president of the farmers markets of Nova Scotia, so I do know, of course.
Of course you are. Yeah. In your spare time, you decided to.
Exactly. Yes. But we have an awesome staff of 3 who work for the provincial group, and our executive director, Justin Contapio, does amazing work organizing all these things. It's a little bit all over the map in some ways. Some of the markets got online with their own online stores, whether it was the same software that we use or through other methods. But some were able to get on very quickly. Some waited to see what would happen. Our seasonal markets mostly opened in person the way they normally would, and some of them closed at Thanksgiving time. But there's certainly a number of the markets that now have an online store. We were again fortunate through Justin's efforts to get some grant funding really quickly from the Department of Agriculture to help pay for the software that we use. So that helped some of the smaller markets in particular that would have found the software cost prohibitive, and enabled them to get an online store up and running. But many of us will keep the online and the in-person. The provincial group has done an amazing job of keeping on top of the changes as they developed and how that affected our sector, because the farmers market sector is sort of its own unique entity. We aren't really grocery stores, but we aren't restaurants, and we have that social side, which is pretty much gone. Very, very few of the markets are having any live entertainment or in-market, in-person seating, or any of those things that are such a big part of the social climate of being part of a farmer's market. But that's this year. And we have very strict spacing protocols. And of course, we have to have the hand sanitizer and the arrows and the outdoor and indoor spacing both, and watch the numbers in the building. So through there, really, really staying on top of it. The markets have had good information, up-to-date information, and we all have our COVID-19 prevention plans in place. It's really been able to have our member markets function really well, and even some of the non-member markets have been able to use our information to help them along too. So, because in Nova Scotia we actually have in Nova Scotia the highest number of farmers markets per capita in Canada. Little old Nova Scotia. And
wow,
it is. It's really cool. About half of them are, or a little better, are member markets. We have about 34 member markets in the farmers markets in Nova Scotia, and then there are other farmers markets that are called farmers markets, but aren't members of our cooperative for one reason or another. Some of them want to be able to expand their policies, because if you're a member market, all your vendors have to make it, bake it, grow it, or raise it themselves.
Yeah.
So some places want to be able to operate with a little more leeway in their product selection, but no, it's been a challenging time, and I have to give all the props to the staff and Justin for keeping us all on track for that.
Well, following all those protocols and making sure everybody is aware of any changes that come. I mean, it's not just a one-time thing where you say, okay, here's the rules now. It's been ongoing changes that have happened in the last 8 months. So yeah, to keep everybody on the same page would be a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It has been. I think the changes were coming out weekly there for a while, and now really we don't have to update it. It's more monthly updates. But if we get any more of a second wave, which we hope we don't, but lots of other provinces are getting, so we're certainly watching that and aware of it. So we can up the changes again and communicate and get that information to the markets. So it's a lot of work, but I mean, so many businesses have had to do it. Our sector is no different. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and I think about too, well, restaurants have a long list of things, and anybody who's a massage therapist or acupuncturist or all that sector as well is just rules, rules, rules. And I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yes, it's true. We noticed a big difference this year too with U-Picks, because there's so many, especially this time of year, apple, pear U-Picks around the province, and the protocols for U-Picking this year are of course very well defined, and the spacing and everything applies to them as well. So big challenges throughout the industry in a lot of areas.
Yeah. And you don't think of something like that. When you think of a U-Pick, you're outside, you're in a field or an orchard, and isn't it? Yeah, all of these things you don't really think of.
No, very different.
Yeah. So, Sylvia has a question here, Margaret. Is there anything we can do as vendors or as a community, I would argue, to promote the online Wednesday market to help make it grow?
Oh, that's a good one. I think it's just to share people's experiences, and that it's convenient, that it's worked well for them. We have vendors that are only online, so you can only get their products through the Wednesday market. Like our honey vendor right now, several of the craft markets or craft vendors, and some even of the produce vendors, lots of artisans and craftspeople, and those are the ones I'm not going to have room for inside the building. This coming weekend will be the last one. So we love to see your market hauls, whether they're from Saturday, but also from that online ordering, the variety that you can get. If you take a picture and send it in to us, we love that. We try to do a draw once a month for a $50 gift certificate for someone who's posted their market haul with us. So we'll continue to do that. And just keep telling people that we're here, that we have that selection, that it's easy to use. Some people are worried still about the technology. I am quite happy to answer the phone and take your order over the phone still and create it, because we have some people that like to be able to shop online on Wednesday but don't have the computer skills, or some of them don't have a computer. So give us a call in the office and we'll create an order for you too. So, and yeah, it's just keeping that communication, sharing the fact that we have 2 opportunities every week for customers to connect with the producers.
So important. Yeah, it's so easy. You know, I keep seeing a lot of posts about small business as well, where it's like, you know, supporting small business can simply be sharing information or liking or commenting on posts rather than you don't need to necessarily have a financial component to that if you're not able or what, for whatever reason, but even just sharing and commenting and keeping those conversations on social media helps.
Yes, that's right. Just being able to like and share, and if you know someone who you think might be able to support a small business that's local, you know, make sure you tell your friends, your neighbors, or whoever you hear saying, "Oh, I really need to find this product and I don't know where." You know, redirect them from Amazon and the big places and to someone local who it can make a huge difference to. I talked to some people, particularly amazingly talented artisans, who are saying, I just haven't been making sales. People are only buying what they really need. And I keep hoping that coming into the holiday gift giving season that some of those people will get more support, because I know some of them are not going to make it through if they don't have support. And we really want to keep that art community and those talented people here, and make it so they can pay their bills and do their work.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's, I mean, across the board in a lot of cases. I shouldn't say across the board because I know that some businesses have benefited through this experience too. But for the most part, I think a lot of businesses are struggling, and that's a key point in general. I think, Margaret.
I hope too, as we get closer to the holidays, people are starting to clue in that, you know, shipping last year was awful and it was just a year, you know? So I think that, you know, I've kind of put it in my head that if I need something online, if I haven't bought it by the middle of November,
yeah, you won't get it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a package right now that was I was supposed to be. It was in Truro last week, and now it's in Richmond, BC. So I don't know what's going on. But if I could get that locally, I can just walk in, or I can order it, or you know, come into the market or something like that. So it's, I think, convenience-wise, that online convenience is great, but there's something to be said for local convenience as well.
Yes, and I think being able to get things, gifts and other things locally, and to ship to your friends and relatives away, I think you want to be on top of that. Earlier this year, Canada
Yeah.
Post is basically saying the timelines are going to be much different than last year. So yeah, source your stuff locally, get it packed up in a box and send it away, which I have to do that myself.
But there's such interesting and unique and wonderful things that makers create that you can't get anywhere else. So
no, that's right. And I think some of the really neat Truro maritime things are fabulous to be able to send away, because people who live here, who would normally have been able to get home for a visit, haven't been able to get home for a visit. So they're probably missing the Maritimes more than ever.
yeah.
So send them something wonderfully made here in the Maritimes, and that'll brighten up their day, we hope.
I've got my eye on one of those Dutchman's cheese advent calendars. It's like 24 days of cheese.
Cheese.
I know. I saw that. I think Mandy Wood shared that somewhere, and I was like, "Oh man, I need to have that. That's amazing. Even better than chocolate, actually, because I would choose over chocolate any day."
Yeah.
Me too.
So Cindy, I see your question, but I'm going to trump you. I'm going to ask her in a second. I need to remember to ask this question of you, Margaret, and you need to help me with this. So last Halloween, there was like some kind of crazy witches dance happening in the middle of the farmer's market. I was there for it. I was like in the middle, well, not literally in the middle of it, but I was like, okay, wait, what's going on? Something's happening. So now Halloween is falling on
Saturday,
market day. So, and obviously there's coronavirus and all of those things. Is there anything that we can expect on Saturday for Halloween at the farmer's market?
Well, sadly, the witches are isolating this year.
Okay.
So I did post last year's dance again today just for our Throwback Thursday look at them. This year, instead of the dancing, we are challenging all our vendors to come in costume. And
Yes.
we're going to have our customers and visitors vote for their favorites.
Yes.
Yes. And then I have prizes. We tend to so often do things and show our customer appreciation. And I get, as I was saying, I get generous offers from vendors to give prizes to show customer appreciation. This is going to be all about vendor appreciation on Saturday. We're going to vote for the costume that we love the best, and they are going to get prizes. And I am actually, they're going to get free table fees this week, so they won't have to pay their normal weekly fees. Plus, they're going to get gifts. So, yeah, come and have a look at the vendor costumes. I'm going to dress up. You might not even be able to recognize me. I don't know. I hope. But we're all wearing masks anyway, so we're halfway there.
Yes. Sylvia, Esty, if you're still watching, you need to tell us who you're dressing up as on Saturday, because I can't wait to see Sylvia. Is she not there?
No, she'll be
not
there.
Telling us.
Oh, she won't tell me?
I keep telling people just like look for them in their regular spots. I won't move anyone to confuse you. So even if it doesn't look like Sylvia in her booth, it's bound to be Sylvia.
Yes. That's so. I like candy, okay, but my favorite thing about Halloween is dressing up. Like, if I could have an excuse to dress up every day, I definitely would do it, because I have so much fun with that part of Halloween. So getting back to Cindy's question, I hope you're still watching, Cindy, as I trumped your question. Does the market have a plan for a second wave? And you did kind of touch on this a little bit already, Margaret, but just for the purposes of maybe reiterating a good point, will it be strictly online ordering and a shutdown of the in-person market?
So we just, like everyone else, we're watching what's happening and what's evolving. I feel so lucky to be in Nova Scotia, where there is no community spread right now and so few cases. So if we can maintain that, that's a huge thing for all our communities and in the whole Atlantic bubble. Of course, it depends what happens. If we're mandated to shut down again, then we definitely will. We will move everything that we can to the online store. We will do 2 delivery days if we have to, if there's enough demand for that. We'll go to Wednesday and Saturday for the online delivery if there's that much need for it. But we'll just, like I was saying, we'll dial it up or back as much as we need to fit in the requirements. But barring anything catastrophic, we will be here. We haven't missed a Saturday. We had one small Saturday, that mid-March one, but we have not missed a Saturday between online or in-person market, and we don't plan to.
That's amazing. That's like kudos to you guys, because that's really amazing.
And you have the foundation built now, Margaret. Like, hardest part, I think, with the everybody going online was physically getting online.
That's right.
That, and you've been able to perfect it as much as you possibly can. So now there's not that fear of how are we going to make it work. It's just making it work.
That's right. We worked out the kinks. We have the software going, which is the huge time saver. We've got all sorts of bins and buckets and pots and boxes and sanitizer, and we had to buy extra tables. We had literally, when we were doing 350 to 380 orders every Saturday, we had every horizontal surface covered with orders. So, and plants underneath the tables. So, but we've done that and we can do it again. So we're we will not close. We'll make sure we connect the producers and the customers in whatever way is safe to do so.
I just keep thinking about you saying that you had planned on going online already, and how the universe was just like, well, here you go, man. Like, you told us we were going to go online, Margaret.
So now you have to make good on that.
Yeah. What better way? You're just like, oh, I got no choice. So
yeah. I had a giant Gantt chart on my wall with every step to take, and it was like, okay, that was supposed to take a month. Let's do that in 2 days.
Yeah,
exactly.
I have been there. I was in a similar situation where I was like, oh, we'll get that done, but we can take our time. This will take us months.
No.
Oh,
later.
Yeah, that's so funny. Well, funny, not really funny.
Oh, but
funny now, maybe months later.
Yes, less stressful now than actually when we were doing it, but yeah, we might as well like enjoy it and laugh about it and make the best of it, because we had no choice. We still have no choice. We're just going to keep going forward and doing whatever we can do to support everyone.
That's awesome. And it looks like Sylvia is going to be a bunny.
A bunny. Okay.
There's a little bunny emoji there, so
yeah, okay. I like it. I like it.
It should be good. Should be a cute bunny.
Yeah, I like it. I can't wait to see the costume.
I hope there's no bunny hair in her food, though.
She'll package it and then she'll put her bunny costume on.
We can hope. We can hope. Yeah,
exactly.
She's good with the safety and the, you know.
That's the COVID rule. Yeah, no bunny hair in the food.
Too funny. Oh, a bunny with a hairnet. There you go.
Yes.
A hairnet, an HAR.
Oh, good.
Oh, yes. Well, that one hurt. That's good. Well, geez, on that note,
it can only go down from there, ladies.
I feel like we're devolving, so yeah.
Yeah. You want to ask your closing question, Michelle?
Yes. So, as you know, one of our categories in the Local Love Truro Awards is your most loved place to show off Truro. So I think that we would guess that the market would be one of yours. But other than the market, where do you take people who come to town that you want to show off the town to?
Oh, there's so many good choices. I mean, like the park is always so obvious, but I have to say, it's got to just be the downtown, like in general, because we have such amazing little shops and restaurants and local businesses. And then, of course, the Civic Square and this whole block and the historic front of the library building. And I love this part of Truro. So probably the downtown in general. Wander around, stop when you see something fun, sit and relax and visit. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I love it. And especially with Christmas coming, I don't know what they're going to do with the rink surface. I don't know yet, but obviously in previous years, it's so nice to see people down there skating and
having this new Walk Santa's Block event that DTP is doing.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I think that's such a wonderful idea. Make the parade stand still and you
still.
I actually think I like that better than a parade.
Do you know, one of the really cool things, though, is if it's cold, which it can be during the parade, then you're not going to have to stand there, right? You're walking, so you'll stay warmer moving around watching.
No, it's not good for the people who have a float because it's the opposite for them.
No. True.
But they can have a little more, they could have a heater because they don't have to move, right?
That's true.
They have that ability to kind of do things they might not do because they just have to get there and leave. They don't need to make their way through downtown. So
maybe more dance routines on the floats to stay warm.
Yes, they have to get creative.
I'm excited about it. When I saw the event and I sent it to Sam, I'm like, look at this.
I think I prefer it. I really do. No, that's really, are you still involved with 4-H, Margaret?
No, not anymore. My children are not in, so I'm not involved with one of the clubs, but any chance I get to help them out, support them, do judging for them, or help them with any of those things, I love to do that.
Because I know I think 4-H usually has a float. That's the only reason that I was asking. Because I'm sure that they will again this year.
Yeah, I hope so. They always have a really good one.
Yeah, exactly. There's always some really, really good ones each year. And I love the Truro concert band and like all of those floats. It's really cool. And of course, Santa.
Yeah. So I hope that people, even people who normally might not go in the parade, see this as a neat opportunity to be involved. I'm really excited. And I don't get excited about Christmas stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. I hit the going button. That's unlike.
That's a commitment too, Michelle.
I know.
That's not even just interested. That's going. Crazy. Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and it would be great because it's gonna be right outside the market here. So I'm really, really excited to see it.
Yeah. Is that the same night as one of? No, it's not the same night as one of the night markets or the.
So the 20th would have been the tree lighting, and they're not doing the tree lighting event, but they are going to have a tree up, and it will be lit. And it, Jen said it would be lit for that evening. So that's awesome, because that always, when the tree's lit, it always feels like Christmas.
Yes. Yeah.
It's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Margaret. I know you're crazy, especially on a Thursday leading up to Saturday, you're crazy busy. So we really appreciate you chatting with us today.
Well, thanks. I'm so glad we could chat this time instead of me just miming things.
I know. It's so good. And I can't wait to see your costume on Saturday. And thank you all for watching. Yes. And we are actually taking next week off, but we're going to be back the following week with another live chat. So stay tuned and have a great weekend and safe Halloween, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.